Hello, how are you? I hope you're all okay, taking care of yourself, of course. Well, as I said, we are going to start reviewing Unit 2, Textual Reference Items and Modifiers. First, we are going to check the schedule here to check the contents of this unit. This unit has 8 hours, so that is approximately 4 classes, 2 weeks of work approximately. As you can see, there are a lot of contents related to this unit, and the main objective, number 1, is to show understanding of textual references through the use of pronouns and adjectives in written discourse. The evaluation criteria identifies various types of reference by analyzing the reference in original sample text in order to improve the understanding of them. Uses textual references in written text to show higher levels of complexity when writing, and finally corrects sentences containing errors in textual reference in a written text. So the idea here is to identify several groups of words that are used when we need to refer back in the text, and on the other hand, to refer to things, people, etc. forward in the text. Okay? In this case, in the case of referring back in the text, these are the first content that we are going to check today, at least. Okay? In this video. Then the next objective, it's about modifiers. We already checked modifiers in the previous unit, but here we are going to check that content more specifically. Okay, so we are going to start with this unit and the contents, checking the most important parts of it. Okay, so let's begin by understanding what are reference words. Okay, reference words mean words that refer back to a previous word or phrase but without repeating it, are very common in many reading texts and can often cause some confusion. An important part of understanding a text is being able to identify the reference words and their relationship to other words, phrases, or a sentence. As I said before, reference words are present in 2 different groups: referring back in the text and referring forwards in the text. We are going to start by checking this type of words referring back in the text. Okay? Referring back in the text. What is the meaning of that? When the information has been previously mentioned. Referring back in the text, es decir, cuando nosotros queremos referirnos, cuando hay palabras, ¿cierto? Hay una información que se entrega antes de que estas palabras sean mencionadas. Por ejemplo, partamos con personal pronouns. Personal pronouns, los pronombres personales son lo que primero aprendemos al momento de, prácticamente lo que primero aprendemos al momento de estar en alguna clase de inglés, ¿cierto? Son los sujetos, objetos o complementos y que generalmente se encuentran, ¿cierto?, en una oración, en una frase sustantiva, donde se menciona por segunda vez. ¿Ya? Aquí tenemos los 7 sujetos que ustedes ya los conocen: I, you, he, she, it, we, they. For example, my name is Sam. I am a very good student. I is the personal pronoun and the previously mentioned name Sam was mentioned before, so I know that I refers to Sam in this case. Second example, my friend is Sarah. She came to my house yesterday. In this case, I know that she refers to Sarah. My parents like to exercise. They go running twice a week. In this case, they corresponds to my parents that were mentioned before. Okay? In the second case, possessive pronouns, it means a possessive pronoun is a word that replaces a noun or a noun phrase and shows ownership, es decir, demuestran, sustituyen a un sustantivo, ¿cierto? E indican pertenencia. My, your, his, her, its, our, their. For example, Tom has a car. His car is red. His demonstrate that the car belongs to, in this case, Tom. Nice cat, Mary. Is your cat hungry? Here we mention your. Why? Because I'm asking the question to someone, in this case, Mary. So if I read the second part, I know that your cat belongs to Mary, in this case. We have the same bikes. Our bikes are very fast. I don't mention here we because we already know that we maybe are a couple of friends, maybe a girlfriend and a boyfriend, etc. So, possessive pronouns always, that is a tip. Possessive pronouns always go after the period. Es decir, siempre van a ir después del punto de lo que se mencionó anteriormente. No van a ir en la mitad, ¿cierto? O al final, no. Siempre van a ir después del punto en el que ya se ha mencionado a quién le pertenece algo. En este caso, ¿cierto? El auto, el gato, las bicicletas. Eso fue lo que se refirieron los possessive pronouns. Luego tenemos object pronouns. An object pronoun, also called objective pronoun, functions as the object of a verb or preposition as distinguished from a subject or subjective pronoun, which is the subject of a verb. Those words are me, you, it, him, her, us, them. It's complicated to do the translation of these words. You always have to translate them in the context, that is, in the same sentence. Example, Robert has a close friend called Ned. Robert trusted him with his life. In this case, him doesn't belong to Robert, who was mentioned before, but in this case, him corresponds to Ned. ¿Okay? Por lo tanto, el objeto aquí se convirtió, el objeto o la persona, en este caso Ned, ¿cierto? Se convirtió en lo principal en relación a lo que venía. Puede haber sido, ¿cierto? Robert has a close friend called Ned. He loves him a lot. Aquí hubiésemos utilizado he si hubiésemos querido mencionar a Robert, no volver a decir su nombre, ¿cierto? Pero lo principal aquí es Ned, ¿ya? The queen began to despise the princess. She was jealous of her. Ella estaba celosa de ella, ¿cierto? ¿De quién? de la princesa, que pasa a ser lo principal cuando se vuelve a mencionar. The Watsons are our new neighborhoods. We will meet them tonight. The same, the Watsons are not the important part of the sentence next. Which is important is them. The object pronoun in this case, which is neighborhoods, are used in this case with the object pronoun them. 4. Subject pronoun or relative pronoun. Replace nouns that are the subject of their clause. Remember that a clause, we checked that in the previous contents. A clause can be independent or dependent. And in this case, in the third person, subject pronouns are often used to avoid repetition of the subject's name. In this case, we are going to use those three: who, which, and where. For example, that's the woman who stole my coat. Esa es la mujer que robó mi auto. Si ustedes piensan, ¿cierto? Who quiere decir quién o quiénes, depende del contexto, pero en este caso, ¿cierto? Yo la traducción al momento de hacerla, por lo general digo, esa es la mujer que robó mi auto. No digo, ¿cierto? Esa es la mujer quien robó mi auto. Eso es muy raro que pase eso. Por eso es que, como les digo, hacer la traducción aquí es mejor hacerla siempre cuando ya esté en un contexto la palabra. This is the cat which I adopted. Remember that for animals, we almost never use who. It's very difficult to use who. So in this case, it's which to refer to things in general and including animals. The hospital where, referring to the hospital of course, I was born is being knocked down. El hospital donde yo nací, en este caso, la palabra calza, ¿cierto? Where, donde, dónde. Yo nací, ha sido demolido. Okay. Demonstrative pronouns. We finish with these two. Demonstrative pronouns. It's a pronoun that points towards the noun it replaces, indicated in time, space, and distance. It can be singular or a plural. It may be a near demonstrative or a far demonstrative. In the case of near demonstrative, es decir, los demostrativos que indican cercanía, tenemos this and these. Esa es la diferencia, ¿cierto?, entre una y otra. Pueden ser singulares, como se mostró acá, ¿cierto? O pueden ser plurales, como es el caso de these and those. ¿Cuál es la diferencia de pronunciación con this and these? Que la I se extiende un poquito más. This, these. Okay? I'm going to show you here in the examples. This apple looks delicious. This apple looks delicious. When the person is saying this, I know that the person has the apple on his hand, or maybe he has it on the table, etc. But it's close. It's close and it's singular because I'm referring to just one apple. It's raining. That person is really wet. That, it's to mention something that is far, alguien que está lejos, ¿cierto? And singular, referring to just one person. Those cars won the race. Those cars, so I know it's plural. And are far. In this case, the cars are far. Están lejos. These books are great. I can lend them to you whenever you want. Estos libros son geniales. Te los puedo prestar cuando tú quieras. Close. La persona tiene los libros en sus manos, los tiene en la mesa, etc. Okay? And finally, we have possessive adjectives. A possessive adjective sits before a noun or a pronoun to show who or what owns it. Es decir, un adjetivo posesivo se posiciona antes de un sustantivo o un pronombre para indicar quién o quién lo posee. My, your, his, her, its, our, their, and whose. For example, here, you made a cake. Your cake was exquisite. In this case, your cake has a context before, and I know that you was the one who made the cake. So I know that this person is referring to your cake. I study English. My class is twice a week. Who has the English classes? I, right? So when the person reads this sentence, my class is twice a week, who has English classes? And I have to go back and check that this subject, I, was the one who was in class or has English classes. Whose hat is this? That is a question. Whose hat is this? Whose, recuerden, ¿cierto? Que quiere decir a quién le pertenece a alguien. Algo, perdón. Por lo tanto, whose hat is this? ¿De quién es este sombrero? ¿Ok? Por lo tanto, la idea, ¿cierto? Es ir viendo de a poquitito cuáles son los grupos de palabras, ¿cierto? En este caso, a las que en un texto se hace referencia cuando se mencionó anteriormente. ¿Ya? Y para eso usamos los pronombres personales, los pronombres posesivos, los pronombres objeto, los pronombres sujeto o relative pronouns. Es un poco más común mencionarlos como relative pronouns. Demonstrative pronouns, que son los pronombres demostrativos, y los adjetivos posesivos. Yo estoy segura que lo tienen que haber visto, ¿cierto? Al menos estos grupos de palabras en su momento en el colegio, ¿cierto? O a lo mejor cuando empezaron con sus clases en la universidad. Por lo tanto, esa es la idea también de Advanced Grammar, que se refuerce lo que ustedes ya han revisado para poder introducirse de lleno a la traducción de los textos y al momento de estar leyendo un texto, saber, en este caso, con este contenido, ir viendo a qué se van a referir las palabras que siguen, ¿cierto?, hacia atrás. Tenemos aquí un texto, ya para ponernos en contexto aquí. New Zealand is becoming an increasingly popular destination for overseas visitors. It attracts tourists and people on business, but the vast majority come as students. So, in this case, it is the referring word that I have to check to which with words from behind referred. New Zealand is becoming an increasingly popular destination for overseas visitors. We immediately discard overseas visitors for example, because it's plural. In this case, it, you always know that refers to just one thing. Okay? So that is discarded. What else? Popular destination. It attracts tourists and people on business, but the vast majority come as students. Popular destination? I don't think so. In this case, it refers to New Zealand. Why I know this? Because we're talking about the country. We are still talking about the country. It attracts. ¿Qué es lo que atrae? ¿A qué se refiere con atrae a muchos turistas, a personas de negocio, pero en su mayoría vienen como estudiantes? Es decir, yo aún me estoy refiriendo a Nueva Zelanda, ¿ya? Solamente aquí están mencionando que se ha convertido, ¿cierto?, en un destino popular para visitantes extranjeros. Por lo tanto, it, ya que la frase, ¿cierto?, la oración sigue hablando acerca de, en este caso, el país, por eso es que esa sería la respuesta correcta, en este caso. Lo voy a dejar marcado ahí con negrito mejor. Siga. Mostly from Asian countries, they stay for anything from a few weeks to a few years or more, studying at language schools, colleges, and universities. En este caso, ¿cierto? Parte con mostly from Asian countries, they stay for anything from a few weeks to a few years or more, studying at language schools, colleges, and universities. Por lo tanto, they. ¿A qué se puede referir? They stay for anything from a few weeks, mostly from Asian countries. That is the previous word mentioned, Asian countries. Países asiáticos. Ellos se quedan alrededor de una semana, ¿cierto? O unos años estudiando lenguaje en universidades, etc. No pueden ser en este caso los países asiáticos. Por lo tanto, va un poquito más atrás. ¿Qué fue lo último que se mencionó en la oración anterior? Students. So, students corresponds to the word they, which is mentioned. New Zealand can offer good homestay accommodation, a clean and beautiful environment, and a reasonable cost of tuition. These factors attract an ever-increasing number of overseas students, accounting for millions of dollars in revenue for New Zealand. These factors. Which factors? The previous sentence is short. So in this case, I have to check the elements, the words, persons the sentence was referring about. So in this case, I have to, because we don't have just these. We have including the word factors. So it's easier for us to identify, ¿cierto? To make the identification of these words. Who the factors are the ones previously mentioned. In this case, accommodation, a clean and beautiful environment, and a responsible cost of tuition. In the previous one, we mentioned students here. Okay? So you have to be very clear at the moment of identify these reference words, and be very careful with the previously mentioned information. That is important. Now, you are going to start practicing with this referring back in the text words, referring words, and it's about the following. Search for the file Session 1 Unit 2 in the platform. That's first step. Do the exercises related to the contents already presented. And 3, upload the file in the space provided called Submit Session 1 Unit 2. So, this is the session. You have different types of exercises regarding the contents we checked. First, we have a paragraph here, and the idea is that you identify whether the words to complete here are from possessive adjectives, possessive pronouns, or object pronouns. So you have to check here possessive pronouns. You have to complete with this. In the case of, what is the other? Possessive pronouns, possessive adjectives, which are here. Complete with one of these words, or maybe there are more. So you complete the ones here with the corresponding words. The first one is done for you. Next, we have here we are going to use relative pronouns. Who, which, or where. What are you going to do? You are going to rewrite this sentence by using who, which, or where. For example, I've just failed my driving test. It's a pity. So, how would you rewrite this sentence by including who, which, or where? You can omit some words if you think it's necessary. In this case, it can say in this way. I can write in this way. I've just failed my driving test, which is a pity. So the sentence doesn't change, but I just include a relative pronoun to make it easier to read. I've just failed my driving test. Notice that I didn't write any point here. I've just failed my driving test, which is a pity. Acabo de fallar mi examen de manejo, ¿cierto? Lo cual es una pena. So you have to do the same here, including one of these relative pronouns. Remember that you can omit some words if it's necessary. Then we have number C, write the pronouns, whether personal or possessive, and their corresponding antecedents here. So, for example, the children is playing the guitar and his friends are dancing. Here, which was the antecedent? Antecedent is the word that was previously mentioned. In this case, which is the possessive? In this case, identify the possessive first. In this case, his. I will say the child more than children because his is singular. Okay, the child is playing the guitar and his friends are dancing. the same here. Maybe I wrote it wrong from the beginning. The child is playing the guitar and his friends are dancing. Antecedent, child. His is the pronoun. So you're going to do the same here. And number one, antecedent, which is the antecedent according to you. And then I'm going to write the corresponding pronoun, whether it is personal or possessive pronoun. Personal pronoun or possessive pronoun. And you write the answer here. Finally, I'm going to give you a lot of work because you're going to start working with bigger texts. So I have to include this in the sessions. Read, what happened to me? Read the following text, how smoking affects your health. In almost each paragraph, we can find some reference words. Here, paragraphs are with a number, 3, 4, 5, until number 11. Okay, so notice that in most paragraphs there are reference words. Not all of them, just in a few. Okay, so here, in regard to the previous text, say who or what the following words refer to. Here we have an example in paragraph 2. The body is smart. It. What is the reference of it in this case? Paragraph 2, it. This word refers to the human body. Es decir, esta palabra, it, se refiere al cuerpo humano. Si ustedes van acá, ¿cierto? Se van a dar cuenta que la primera frase, oración que aparece ahí es the body is smart. It goes on the defense. Por lo tanto, it corresponde al cuerpo humano. Entonces la idea es que ustedes me escriban al ladito de lo mismo, así como en el ejemplo, a qué palabra se refiere lo mencionado aquí. Y están identificados los párrafos también. ¿Ya? Entonces ustedes lo escriben al ladito tal como es en el ejemplo. Esta palabra se refiere a. Esta palabra se refiere a. Lo mismo que en el ejemplo. ¿Ok? Bien. Voy a subir este video explicativo. ¿Ya? Y cualquier duda que tengan, me la hacen por favor. Trate de ser lo más clara posible. Por supuesto que a estas alturas el video debo hacerlo en inglés, ¿cierto? No en español, ya que estamos en eso. Por lo tanto, de todas maneras, cualquier duda que les haya quedado, pueden hacerla. Yo trato de contestar lo más rápido posible. No estoy las 24 horas conectada, pero nunca se sabe, de repente uno está haciendo otras cosas. ¿Ya? Ya, chicos, que estén súper bien. Esta sesión es para el día viernes, la entrega. ¿Ok? Pero ahí se los voy a indicar en plataforma. Bye, bye.